If you've got goals this year, do you want to stick to them? Of course you do. That's why our savvy nutritionist, Andrea Donsky, is here to help us out. She's from naturallysavvy.com, and you've got some tips for us that are going to, sort of break things into bite-sized pieces so you can actually stick to some of your goals this year.
Right, so I thought it would be interesting to start with a statistic in terms of New Year's resolutions.
Okay.
So 41% of us make New Year's resolutions every single year. But guess how many follow through with them?
Maybe 20%.
8%. 8% follow through with them. Isn't that interesting?
Do we just give up? Like, what are we doing wrong?
You know what, I just think that we overachieve.
Yes.
I really think. And I'm not a big fan of New Year's resolutions anyways. Yeah. I kind of make resolutions throughout the year.
That's
not just at one
every
time
single
of the
person
year.
on the show has said the same thing,
and
I'm the same way. It doesn't really matter what month or year or day it is.
No.
Let's start that day.
Exactly, and let's live it all the time.
That's right.
Right?
Okay, so when it comes to being healthy, so many of us say every January, this is the year. I'm going to lose the weight. I'm going to be more healthy.
Exactly.
It doesn't always happen, so can you make it easier for us, please?
I can. So 32% of us make weight-related resolutions at this time of the year.
Yeah.
32% of us.
It's a lot.
It is a lot. So if that's your goal this year, what I recommend is starting with just one change.
Okay.
Just one, because that way it becomes more achievable.
Right.
And it's a more realistic goal.
Okay. All right.
All right.
Let's look at the things that we might want to include in that one change.
Include, and then and then change.
Okay.
And then you're going to tell me what change you would make.
Okay.
I'm going to ask you at the end.
I'll do that.
So when it comes to food, whole foods like fruits and vegetables, whole grains, clean proteins, and legumes have important nutrients. Yeah. And our body knows how to process it, right? But foods that contain additives, which we're going to talk about today, are foreign to our body.
Okay.
So our body doesn't process it the same way. And that could lead to weight gain.
Okay.
So these are really good for us.
Whole foods.
Whole foods.
So adding whole foods into your diet.
Exactly. So if we're trying to lose weight this year, we might be inclined to reach for diet foods, right? But there was a study last year that showed that people who consume artificial sweeteners on a regular basis actually are an increased risk for certain health conditions, including weight gain and obesity.
So what is it about artificial sweeteners that make them so bad?
Well, first of all, there's so many side effects. People can get headaches. I mean, I've interviewed people where they've had crazy side effects. So, and they're chemicals, right? They're man-made. So my whole thing is those healthier alternatives. So great options, natural sweeteners instead, stevia, monk fruit, xylitol, and erythritol.
Okay, they're all natural. They're all
natural.
Sweeteners.
They're all sweeteners. They're all low in calories, which is why we reach for those artificial sweeteners in the first place.
Right.
And you could use them the same way that you do artificial sweeteners. You can put them in coffee or tea. You can use them for cooking. I use xylitol in my soups all the time, and I love it.
Okay,
and I replace it, either artificial sweeteners, I don't use them, but I replace it for sugar.
Lovely.
You can sprinkle it on your fruits, and then you can use it for baking as well.
Good. Okay, I'm a big fan of stevia. I know not everyone loves it because it's got a bit of that medicinal taste, but I like it.
Yeah, a lot of people
Works
do.
for me.
All right, so my whole motto is education, not deprivation.
Okay.
So I believe finding those healthier options. We can make better choices.
Yeah.
So some savvy swaps that we can make that don't include any artificial sweeteners. For example, if you like diet soda, you can look for a brand that uses stevia instead of aspartame.
Right.
When it comes to bubble gum, I don't know if you know this, Tracy, but gum can have up to 3 different types of artificial sweeteners in it. Even bubble gum.
Oh, I didn't know that.
And who's chewing bubble gum?
Kids.
Right.
Yeah.
So our kids are getting those artificial sweeteners. So instead you want to look for a brand that uses a natural sweetener like xylitol. And you'll see that on the front of the package. But always read the ingredients to make sure that there is no aspartame or sucralose or anything artificial.
So you're looking for natural sweeteners. That's the important thing. And same with your pudding here. Is that Jello?
So exactly, that's an alternative. It's a gel dessert. And this is chocolate pudding that I want you to try. Again,
no problem.
I know you love chocolate, so sugar-free.
Here.
Keep in mind it's sugar-free. And this brand uses stevia and erythritol to sweeten it.
They probably don't trust me now because it's chocolate and they know what I'm going to say. but it's very good. It's very good.
And
I love it.
it's sugar-free.
Okay, so let's move on now to what we have here.
Right, so another additive that is linked to weight gain is monosodium glutamate.
Okay, that's a long one.
That's a long one, or we'll call it MSG for the purpose of the segment.
Okay.
Now the reason it does that is because it boosts our appetite, causing us to eat more.
Oh, okay.
How often can you stop at just one chip?
Please.
Right.
What does that even mean?
What is that exactly? So here I have some chips that I would like you to try. So instead, what you can do, so some savvy swaps you can make when it comes to flavored chips, which are, by the way, often have monosodium glutamate in it. You can look for organic brands or brands that don't have it. Now, something to keep in mind, this is important. Many foods contain naturally occurring glutamates.
Okay.
But for the purpose of what we're talking about today, I'm talking about the synthetic, highly processed form of glutamic acid, which is MSG, the white crystals.
So we're not talking about anything that naturally comes up in the food. We're talking about the stuff that is added and it is synthetic. Are these chips good for me or not?
Those chips are good for you.
Okay, good. Good. Because I could eat that whole bowl. That was good.
Another food that commonly has added MSG is soy sauce.
Yes.
So instead, what I would recommend is looking for a tamari sauce. It has a richer, milder taste. And in this case, this brand is also wheat-free. Now, wheat, it's gluten-free as well. So gluten or wheat pose a problem for some people when it comes to weight gain. So if you love soy sauce, and we use it a lot, right? In cooking, it's a regular in our kitchen.
Yes.
So that's a great alternative that you can use.
Okay, all right. And not everyone needs to be gluten or wheat-free, right?
Not everyone does.
If you've got an issue with it, then take it out of your diet. But it's not everyone doesn't need to take it out.
We're all individual, and we all have different needs.
And are these all natural beauty products?
They are. So aside from watching just what we eat, we also have to be mindful about the personal care products we put on our skin.
Yes.
That's because we absorb 60% of what we put on our body.
Oh, no.
60%, right? So it's really important. And we want to be mindful of certain ingredients like parabens or phthalates or synthetic fragrances.
Yes.
On average, women use 12 products containing 168 different chemicals every single day before we leave the house.
So we're talking deodorant, body wash,
shampoo, toothpaste,
makeup.
Everything. 168 different chemicals.
And that's all going in. 60%.
60% is we're absorbing.
Yeah.
So we really want to look for clean brands. And over time, it can start to accumulate, right? So brands that you want to look for, like, for example, you're talking about shampoo, makeup wipes. You want to look for brands that are paraben-free. And the way you can tell if it has parabens is it can have methylparaben, ethylparaben, and those are just to name a few.
So you'll see that on the label list, so always be aware of that.
Mindful, exactly.
Mindful.